He hired me to prove his wife was cheating, slept with other women in front of our cameras, then refused to pay because she was too perfect to be real. When I confronted him years later at her charity gala, he smirked and said, "She was mine, my wife, my life, my money. You had no right." I didn't say a word. That was 3 weeks ago. Last night, he tried to crash her fundraiser with edited audio and got dragged off stage screaming while she thanked donors for saving children's lives. A guy scammed me, so I gave his wife everything. I work as a security consultant, and around 4 years back, I got pulled into this job that left me a changed man. The guy who hired us was this wealthy businessman named Marcus, who had more money than sense and wanted our team to investigate his wife. He was convinced she was having affairs behind his back and needed solid proof to protect himself in the divorce he was planning. The contract was for 8 months, and he promised to pay our firm a huge amount when we finished the job. We installed hidden cameras throughout their massive estate and tracking devices in her vehicle, all with his written permission. Our team had someone following her every single day without fail. We basically lived their lives through our monitors. You know how it goes in this business. You either stay completely neutral or get sucked into their drama like some reality show. Watching them day after day, we realized pretty quickly that his wife, Sarah, was basically an angel walking on earth. She spent her mornings teaching literacy classes at the community center and her afternoons reading to sick kids at the pediatric ward. She organized fundraisers for homeless shelters and delivered meals to elderly neighbors who couldn't leave their homes. Meanwhile, Marcus was the one we kept catching with different women at hotels, and sometimes even bringing them to the house when Sarah was at her volunteer work. The guy would meet up with multiple women in a single day, and that was just what our cameras caught. When we hit the 5-month mark, we had our standard progress meeting where we present all our findings with full documentation. We spent 7 hours going through everything, complete with video evidence and detailed reports. These showed Sarah had done absolutely nothing wrong, aside from maybe jaywalking once and forgetting to signal a lane change. After we wrapped up the presentation, Marcus just sat there looking shocked. Then he goes, "So you're telling me you found nothing on her at all? Then what am I even paying you people for?" My supervisor Ronald's expression turned to stone. With an icy calm I'd never heard from him before, he said, "You hired us to investigate your wife, and you're upset that she's completely faithful to you." Marcus got all huffy and started grabbing his stuff. Ronald then told him, "Listen, we still have 3 months left on the contract. We'll keep monitoring and give you a final report when the time's up." Marcus just waved him off and said, "Forget it, I'm done with this whole thing. Just come get your equipment when she's not around." So, about 10 days later, we did exactly what he asked. Now, the way these contracts work is you pay a deposit up front, and the balance gets paid when the contract period ends, which, in his case, was 8 months. When the contract officially ended and payday came around, our whole unit got called in for an urgent meeting about our last assignment. Turns out Marcus decided not to pay the remaining balance, and basically stiffed us for all that work. We still got our regular salaries, but lost out on the huge completion bonus we were counting on. Everyone was furious, so we went to grab food and started talking about how to handle this jerk. Then someone remembered we still had copies of all that footage showing him with those other women. At first, we thought about using it as leverage, but that felt too dirty, and we weren't about to stoop to his level. I kept thinking about Sarah, and how she deserved to know the truth, so I reached out to her directly. I arranged to meet her at a coffee shop and laid everything out for her. I showed her the videos of Marcus with all those women, and she just broke down completely. She cried for probably 45 minutes straight, and I felt terrible for destroying her world like that. I gave her copies of everything we had collected, suggested she find a good divorce attorney, and left her my contact information. About 8 months later, I got subpoenaed because our company was taking Marcus to court for breach of contract and refusing to pay what he owed. We won easily. His lawyer tried arguing we didn't deliver the results he wanted, but our contract was to observe and report, not manufacture evidence. We finally got our money, plus damages. As I was leaving the courthouse, Sarah caught up with me and thanked me for giving her all that evidence. She told me the divorce went through, and because of everything I provided,